Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Chuck Cornell. I'm the director here at the Fredonia Technology Incubator, and I'm thrilled today that we're doing something a little bit new. We're trying something new. We're doing a spotlight on one of our student businesses. And who better to start with than Tyler, right? So I'm going to introduce Tyler Walsh. He was the winner of our 6th annual student business competition last year, which we are having again this year. And with that, you get incubator services and you also get a cash prize. And so I would encourage anybody that's interested in submitting a business idea for the competition to visit our website or to contact us, and we can provide you information on how to do that. It's a very, very simple application. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Tyler Walsh, who is the founder of Forest Entertainment, which is an independent record label, and let him talk about his company and what they're doing. Thank you.
Everybody, hope you're having a great Friday. I'm just going to share my screen really quick. All right, cool. So my name is Tyler Walsh. I am the founder of Forest Entertainment. I'd like to thank the incubator and Chuck and Lori for having me out today, and also just providing support along the way. So just a preface of who I am really quick. So I actually recently graduated from Fredonia last year in May with a degree in music business. So I was part of the music industry program. I also am currently a resident at 137 PM and VaynerX, which is a Gary Vaynerchuk company, if you're familiar with him at all. So I assist in artist relations, music promotion, as well as like working with Fortune 500 companies to create like custom music campaigns and TikTok. So try to leverage that into like the relationships I build with what I do currently at Forest. And also I was in Fredonia Records, which is for anybody that is a current student in the music business program. You may know it's the student record label, provides a great experience to learn. Also helped out with Revenue Records, which I was a A&R for 2 years ago. And I actually competed in the competition as well. We unfortunately didn't win, but everything happens for a reason. And I also was an intern at Wolfpack Clothing, where I kind of learned the power of branding and marketing. So Forest Entertainment is an independent record label that plants a tree for every album sale. And we always put artist happiness first. Just to dive back into the every album sale, we plant trees. We actually partnered with One Tree Planted, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. So they do all of our planning for us. We have a strategic partnership with them for that. And we strive to disrupt the current record label model, which if people are familiar is the 360 deal. So for record deals that, 360 deal I'll dive into in a minute, just because there's a lot into it. Current record label model, in short, it's just a scam. So 360 deal is essentially where you get a lump sum of money, which is called an advance. And basically you don't see a penny until that advance is recouped. And typically you get a low percentage after it is recouped. And you just really, in general, lose creative control and final decision in your career. So I know just working with artists in the past, more artists are more cognizant of that, and they're looking to avoid signing those deals. So it's good to see that they at least have that knowledge of, hey, this isn't the best deal and what's the best deal moving forward. So in turn, the label takes ownership of the artist's intellectual property, and if not, all the percentages. So it's really just not a good deal in general. So we're trying to disrupt that by changing how the industry works in general. This is a bad thing because, like I said, again, artists lose creative control. Artists will be more focused on paying back their advance than focusing on the art itself, and have little to no control over their schedule. Labels tell them, hey, it's time to go tour, or when that album's coming out, stuff like that. And it just ruins the essence of the artist. And what's the point of doing that if they're just trying to make good music? So how we're different, we don't offer an advance. We typically do an 80-20 split. Sometimes it varies depending on the artist. which is all in favor of the artist. So the artist will get 8% or sometimes higher, sometimes just a little bit lower. And that's usually mechanical and publishing royalties, among other things. Sometimes we've helped out with setting up a merchandise site for an artist, or helping them get booked for the first time or continue booking them. We help bring the artist creative vision to life without taking control. So it's like, hey, they want to put out an album, let's show them creative ways that are up their alley on how to promote it or anything like that. And we're always expanding to find new ways to make money for the artists that are unique, and just really just creative ways to do that. So yeah, also we're trying to find new ways in areas like NFTs, virtual shows, live streams, things like that. So what we've done so far. So our catalog contains over 20 compositions with a total of around 200,000 streams on Spotify, with over 112 trees planted. So that's through a catalog of 20 releases through 5 artists. I think we're at about 22 releases right now. We also help create communities for our artists. So that is through things like Discord or community or anything like that, just to help the artist just connect with their fans and create a more loyal following. We also help their artists book shows. One band we work with, Flues, who is actually part of Hail Records. We've been working with them pretty frequently just to help get them booked and developing marketing plans and things like that. Also developed unique marketing plans that stand out. So that'd be things like funnel ads, and we did a unique marketing campaign where we actually took a QR code that we developed for they did a release. It was 2 singles at the same day, which is hard enough to promote, but found a good way to do it where we created a smart URL that promoted both and slapped a QR code on a sticker with some unique branding that stood out, and went to areas and just pasted them on like high traffic areas just to help them stand out more. So that was just one unique thing. What's next for us? We're looking to get into the NFT game, which is non-fungible token, for artists to continue building a community and just offer different incentives to their loyal patrons. Also create a business model that future labels will incorporate into the metaverse. We're really banking on the fact that NFTs and Web3 are going to be the future, and also continue to develop unique one-of-a-kind marketing plans. Yeah, and how the incubators help. So they provided us with space and equipment to record our podcast. We have a few episodes that we're currently sitting on, but we did release, it's called Forced Initiative, or Forced Interactive, sorry. And yeah, we had one of my friends, Lorvert, who interned with us. He was helping us produce that. Provided learning experiences through virtual events. So they do a lot of things like, I wasn't too familiar with like QuickBooks, and they had a QuickBooks workshop, which is awesome. So a lot of virtual workshops, and connected with individuals just in areas where I needed more help and knowledge. And so shout out to Mark Nickerson. I really didn't know much about accounting or QuickBooks at all, but I've met with him a few times, and I'm still trying to learn the process through the way. Also provide layers of support in every aspect of business. So they just really try to make the business and the people inside really comfortable with what they're doing, and just provide that extra layer of support, which is awesome. So also, even during the pitch, they had an entrepreneur in residence who helped you create the pitch, which I'm going to show you my pitch from last year. And they really helped narrow down, like, what your mission statement is and the best ways to approach it. Yeah. So I'm going to show my pitch from last year. So I just started off with a nice title screen, had a logo that we are currently using. Yeah. Also highlighting a few things just to point out, but so an artist-friendly record label. I also just realized now that it says friendly twice, which is funny, but an artist-friendly record label that plants a tree for every album sale. So in this, we're trying to identify what we're doing, and the highlighted plants a tree is what makes us stand out and unique from the rest of the competition, which I feel like is important. If you're starting a business, you have to have some sort of outlier that solving a problem and makes you unique. Problem we're solving: commonly artists sign publishing, distribution, or master rights agreements without any information of the music industry. And this leads to a misunderstanding of the terms, responsibilities, and rights as a musician. So the major problem here is that these artists are signing these agreements without knowing anything. So we're trying to help teach our artists, this is how the music industry works. That's why I highlighted without any information leads to misunderstanding, because it's important to basically help them realize that, hey, if you want to be in this industry, you should know the business. And, it's like going into a job, you should know your duties on the day to day. You shouldn't just be told what to do every day and not know, what your overall goal is. So our solution: by creating an artist-friendly record deal, we can prepare our artists for the music industry by providing them with knowledge, tools, and resources to turn their passion into a career. So we're looking to help prepare our artists. I know with a lot of record labels, they just do everything for them, but they don't really teach them the ins and outs. And that's just because they want them to be reliant on those major record labels. So we look to just really help our artists. We don't want to make them unhappy or not want to work with us. We are looking to have like a good repertoire with everybody we work with, and a solid relationship that we can, further utilize in the future, or just anything in general. It's just good to have a good network. So target market: this was an important thing because we're kind of servicing to two different segments, musicians and fans of music. There's a lot more people that listen to music, but there's also musicians that will come to us for services like marketing or distribution, artist development, anything like that. So we definitely want to cater to musicians as well as the fans of music. So it was just important to realize, how big the market is for people that listen to like the genres we work in, which are primarily hip hop, pop, electronic, rock. So yeah, it's just important to know, who your demographic is and who you're going to try to be selling to, whether your business is in music or not. Competitive landscape: this is more about competitors. So AWOL is one of them. Before that, competitors and how our solution is better. It's important to, note your strengths and weaknesses against your competitors. So AWOL, which actually recently got acquired by, I believe, Sony a little bit ago. They're high royalty percentage against their artists. So it's kind of, I believe it was like 70-30 or something like that. So it wasn't in favor of the artists. Artists would get like 30%, but they have the resources behind them, which they had like A&R people. They would have people help them market. But United Masters, they didn't really have personalization. It was just kind of like a template that wasn't really editable. Sorry. And yeah, it's really hard to be a unique artist if you're just given this, if you're just contained in this box. And the Famous Company was just way too expensive. They'd have artist services for like thousands of dollars. So yeah, so it was just important to note why we're better and just point out our competitors. So that's definitely always an important thing to do, because you're always going to be having competition. Funding needed. So I know with the competition, I believe, if I'm correct, the stipend's $1,200, but we wanted to just talk about in general our business, just because it was something that we were going to continue whether we won the business competition or not. So we just put $10K in funding just as a general point, is because web services was something that we were heavily invested into. So our A&R software called Repertoire, they house all of our whole catalog. So everything in there, music videos, percentages, contracts, it all lives in there. It's kind of like a database for our company, kind of like the lifeblood well as our web services like G Suite, our Google Suite, Squarespace to make our website, etc., as well as licensing for publishing and distribution. So Song Trust is something we use for publishing. Register artists to collect those publishing royalties when their music's played on the radio or anytime their composition's used. Advanced metrics and analytics. This is primarily for chart metric, just to analyze current trends and kind of where industry is shifting in marketing and promotion. Those would go towards things such as, promoting an artist or promoting ourselves as a brand. So it's just important when you're doing a pitch like this, just to say where the money's going and just try to be as specific as possible. I know when you're pitching it, it's not very specific when you just say marketing and promotion, but you can go into detail just because it's a lot to read if you put, $500 to Google ads or $400 to Facebook ads or anything like that. So it's always good to have this more broad, and then when you're doing the pitch, get more specific. Sales channels. We use social media platforms to market our services and music. We use Facebook and Google ads to increase our brand's web presence. We target artists directly to our website, where we go into depth about our services and music we offer. So because we cater to two different sectors, the musician and the music fan, we have to have different approaches. So primarily for music releases, we really try to focus on social media and paid advertisements. And for artists, we use our website as a landing page for information. So it's important that you go into detail about this kind of what how you're going to acquire customers and just kind of your operations in that regard. Marketing activities, social media advertisements, Forest Initiative, blog posts, SEO tools. This is basically how you're going to get your brand out there. Forest Initiative is our where we plant a tree for every album sale. That's something we hope to entities in the future. But it's just really important to list, like I said, how you're going to get out there, especially when you're competing with the past competitors that were briefly mentioned. So it's always important to stand out. And that's also the importance of having a USP, unique selling point. You just really want to stand out from the crowd and provide a good service and make sure that you're getting your name out there. Financial projections. So I know with the pitch, a lot of companies are just in the ideation stage. So sometimes it's hard, but you really do have to run your numbers and just do some projections or estimates. Even if you're just thinking about doing the student business competition. So that was kind of our case. We took a look at some of the brief estimates we got off royalties and just kind of based it off that, because we started a little bit before we did the incubator. So we're kind of running off the ground there. But yeah, you just have to know your sector and know how much you are willing to sell and what people are willing to buy for, and kind of base it off that, kind of correlate with like your marketing activities and what your marketing budget's going to be and how you're going to acquire customers, and try to really just put that all together. And I'm sure there's resources at the incubator that can help out with something like that. It's like, if you're trying to figure out how much money your business is going to make, I'm almost 100% confident that they would be able to accommodate in some fashion, something like that. Milestones. So the one thing I did that actually Lori, one of my entrepreneurs in residence, helped me out with was milestones. So basically that was what I did. I originally put past milestones, what we already accomplished, and she brought it up that it's a good point to think about the future and what's next, because it really is, the past doesn't matter as long as you're still developing for the future. So these are some of the milestones that we had: 1 million total catalog streams, fully developed artist services program, release Flooze's LP, which is a band we work with, have 8 in-house artists signed to the label, and entities the Forest Initiative. Some of those we accomplished, some didn't, but we're still working towards it every day. So super excited for that, but it's super important. that you have a clear path and your goals are set. So definitely something to consider. Team and key roles. I should have definitely included images of our team here just to help. But yeah, it's currently a team of 3 right now. It was bigger at the time, but we had 2 interns. So yeah, definitely include your team. I would also include like responsibilities and roles. So there's a clear understanding of who's doing what and how the team kind of operates. It's very important. And partners, it's just to say who you're working with, who your brand aligns with, and anything like that. So One Tree Planted, they're like I said, the non-for-profit that we go through all the planting of trees. ASCAP, that's where we handle some of our publishing and performance rights. Song Trader also helps with sync licensing, so getting our artists heard through TV, film, anything that's paid on some sort of video or any platform like that. Repertoire, that is our label suite, and Oh Bubble. We actually used to do a 24/7 live lo-fi radio on YouTube because that was a big thing, or it still is a big thing. A lot of people like to listen to lo-fi while studying, so we had one of those going for a few months, but just pricing wise wasn't a good return on investment, so we ended up scrapping that. But at the time, they were a good partner. And I believe that is it. Yeah, I'd love to answer any questions that anybody might have or anything like that. If anybody has any, like force anyway. Yeah.
So did you have to turn away any artists, or did any come to you to be on the label?
Yeah, a lot do reach out. We want to help as many artists as possible. It's just a matter of making sure, our values align with theirs. And one thing that's really hard to determine is, what's their work ethic like? Because that's really the main determiner of like whether someone's going to be successful in the music industry. Is from a musician standpoint, it's like how persistent are they? Are they releasing music every week? Just because a lot of artists, they just want a label to do everything for them instead of like also putting in the work with them, because that's kind of like how the major labels work. Is they'll put a lot of money behind you and a lot of resources, but they don't really realize how much work goes in behind it. So appreciate it.
Are they mainly artists from campus, or?
So we did have one artist who did go to Fredonia. He dropped out right before we started. Actually, no, he was an artist. He was actually my roommate. He dropped out a semester after we started, but he still makes music, helps out with everything in the label. So he's really awesome. Some of our artists live in Buffalo, some are in like New York City, but it's mostly like throughout the state. So we try to, we want to expand, but right now it's just in state.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
How do you expand in the city like that?
What's that?
How do you expand out in the city? Like
How do we expand? I definitely say something we want to dive into that we couldn't because of COVID, live shows. I feel like just having your name on a poster, your branding, like the logo and stuff, would be really beneficial just in general. Also running paid ads, Facebook, anything like that, really helpful. So
Do you guys release anything over Bandcamp?
not at the moment. We only work with one band. That's really the only band I've ever worked with. I've usually worked with like pop or R&B or hip hop artists.
Yeah.
They have in the past, but they're really looking to monetize on Spotify.
Yes, Jamie.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
You think Bandcamp is a bad direction to start on?
No, Bandcamp's awesome. Just because it has everything, you can sell your merch on there. You got your whole discography. I feel like for older projects, like for artists just starting, like Bandcamp's awesome. But I feel like, as your career progresses, like once you start making money, that's when bands kind of stop doing Bandcamp.
Because I started a Bandcamp label.
Okay.
It's very small.
Yeah.
I have like 2 people on it so far.
Fire. Well,
But like I wasn't sure if it was a great way to start.
Yeah, I mean, anything where you can have a platform to get music heard is a great platform. It doesn't matter like whether a lot of people use it or not, as long as people are like hearing it and like they enjoy the music. That's really all that matters. You know,
Okay.
that's dope though.
Can you expand on your work with NFT?
Yeah,
I hear a lot of in on social media about how it's better than like TikTok and SoundCloud, helping
Yeah.
artists like really get their music heard and
yeah.
like get the right money.
NFTs are awesome. I guess I'm sure there's going to be some people that don't know what NFTs are, so I'll just start with that. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Basically, it is, imagine you go to Google and you type in an image. It's a cool piece of art that you like. You can right click and save it, but anybody can do that as well. But with NFTs, you can be the sole owner of a piece of art or a piece of music or any sort of digital collectible. And yeah, it's really awesome because you basically on the blockchain, you'll be the sole owner and you can access different benefits that are only verifiable if you own that NFT. So a lot of musicians like Blau, he's really awesome. He's kind of trying to do the same thing, is releasing NFTs for, he releases his music as a vinyl NFT, where if you buy it, you actually get a physical vinyl sent to you, and you also get a percentage of streaming royalties for the rest of your life, as well as other benefits. He has like a community. He has like live events perks, like you can get in free tickets, stuff like that. So NFTs are going to play a major role in the industry, and we're trying to help our artists by just kind of giving them a roadmap of how NFTs work, and like Discord, and like how to build a community around it and provide utility, so that it's not just some sort of image or NFT that's useless. It's actually something that's valuable for long term.
Yeah. Because everyone's been one of the art majors that I talked to. I've been talking about how NFTs are kind of weird for the art like industry and just in general in the art communities, because you're paying for like, it's talking about the picture ones. The useless ones.
Like crypto punks and Bored Ape Yacht Club.
That kind of stuff. They talk about how that's kind of like ruining or it's influencing the art. In a negative kind of way. But this sounds actually useful.
Yeah, I think there's like there's a connotation right now with NFTs that they're going to be useless, but those are because some of the major ones right now are just profile picture NFTs, which are more of just like something where you can flex on social media and say, hey, I own this expensive piece of art that's, I just paid X amount for. But if you own something with like utility, like for example, there's like gaming NFTs where you can own a horse and then race it, bet it, and make money. You can breed it and make money. So really, it's just NFT space, especially in music, is really, it's where everything's going to turn, because if the major labels don't adjust to kind of like the framework we want to set up, they're not going to last, because artists are just going to start doing it on their own, and they're going to have their own fans who believe in them, fund them, and a lot of artists are making a lot of money right now.
That's good. So the one artist that you're saying with the NFTs, so you have to pay for them with cryptocurrency, right?
So it differs. Some are like strictly crypto, some are like Ethereum. Some one of the projects, I can't really go into too much detail, but one of them is someone I'm working on is kind of like an artist NFT. And you can use both money, or like use your credit card or Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever you want, just to make it more accessible. It will all live in the blockchain. You might have to pay like an extra $5 just to convert it or whatever, but usually that's how it works. But it depends on the platform as well. I know like OpenSea, you can do like USDC, which is like it's like dollar backed, so it's like always the same price as the US dollar. Yeah. Oh. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, I appreciate the incubator for having me out as well. If anybody's thinking about doing the competition, I highly recommend it. It's a really great learning experience, not just for the business world, but also like the industry. I learned a lot doing a lot of research about how it works and how it can improve. And it can go with any business, even if you're not just interested in music. If you're interested in like any sort of business, marketing, anything like that, digital ads, you can learn so much just by trying to start a business of your own. And there's literally no better place to do it than at an incubator that's trying to support you and help you out just to achieve a common goal. So like I said, I appreciate everybody who came out, and thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. I just want to share quickly the information regarding the student business competition and its deadline. So the applications will be due on Friday, December 17th at 5 p.m. There's a link at the bottom of this worksheet, which is posted on our Facebook page, as well as other social medias and our website. If you have any questions, you can contact the office. Thank you everyone for coming today, and thank you, Tyler, for your presentation. We appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend, everyone.